let's talk about what shrinking yourself really costs you. And I don't just mean missing out on promotions or opportunities. I mean the invisible tax you pay every single day you choose to make yourself smaller just to keep other people comfortable. And you know exactly what I'm talking about because we all do it in one form or another. Some examples: when you hold your tongue instead of saying what you really think or want to say, or when you go along with the plans even though you really don't want to, just to keep the peace and just so you kind of don't stand out, or even when you convince yourself that you're fine with less than what you actually deserve. And you know when you are saying yes to something that does not align with you, it just doesn't feel right. That's when you're shrinking yourself. And the part that nobody says out loud is that shrinking yourself feels safe in the moment, but it's not safety. It's self-betrayal. And we've learned this behavior. This betrayal sneaks up on you until you can't even recognize yourself anymore. And this is where we feel overwhelmed. This is where we feel we're living out of alignment. And this is where we feel the sky is falling. So what do we do about that? So let's talk about what it costs you to shrink yourself. The first cost is losing yourself. When you shrink yourself, you start disappearing in your own life. You stop trusting your voice, you stop believing that your ideas matter, and you eventually forget what it feels like to take up space without apologizing for it. And let me tell you, I've been there too. The email or phone call intros that say, "Oh, I'm sorry to bother you," but the apology that leads your comment. There was a time when I kept saying yes to things that did not align with me. The social obligations, the extra responsibilities, being around people who drained me, all because I didn't want to be seen as difficult or too much. On paper, I looked like I had it all together, but inside I was exhausted, resentful, and honestly, I was embarrassed that I was living so far away from what I wanted to be. That's what shrinking yourself does. It slowly erodes your sense of self. The second cost of shrinking yourself is teaching others how to treat you. When you downplay your worth, people will take your lead and they will treat you as less than as well. If you act like your time isn't valuable, they won't respect it. And if you act like your voice doesn't matter, they won't listen. If you settle, they'll hand you more of the same. So your boundaries are literally training people on how to treat you. So by you choosing to shrink yourself, you're literally training people on how to treat you. So don't be surprised when you're overlooked, underappreciated, and outright disrespected. The third cost of shrinking yourself is regret. And that's literally the worst. Because 10 years from now, you won't be thinking about the people who you made uncomfortable in that moment. You'll be thinking about the dreams you didn't chase, the boundaries you didn't set, and the life you didn't live. All your choice. And regret is a bill you cannot get out of paying. So what are some actionable takeaways that you can employ in your life? How do you stop paying this very expensive price? Here's a few ways. Number 1, audit your life. Write down 3 areas where you currently feel like you're shrinking yourself. And be specific. No one's gonna see this. There's no right or wrong answer. Where are you shrinking yourself? At home, at work, among your friends and community? Seeing it on paper makes it impossible to deny. Number 2, practice small acts of power. Don't wait for a big moment. Start small. Say no once this week without apologizing. Share your opinion in a conversation where you'd normally hold back and stay quiet. These small moments compound into real power long term. Number 3, anchor it into your why. Ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Is it for me, my kids, my spouse, my family? I don't want them growing up watching a mom who disappears. I want them to see a woman who stands tall, even when it's uncomfortable and hard. That's my why. Find yours and lean on it when fear creeps in. I'll give you an example from my own life. I used to always say yes to social invitations. I was terrified of the FOMO and also of disappointing people. Even and especially when I was very drained, I didn't want to disappoint anyone. So I'd show up tired, which would build resentment. And I really wished I was home or not there. One night I said yes to yet another event. And halfway through it, I caught myself zoning out, scrolling on my phone, not being present, not interested in talking to the people who are around me. And it was very clearly coming across. And I realized I wasn't doing anyone a favor by being there. Definitely not them and certainly not me. So I made a decision in that moment. I wasn't going to keep showing up half alive just to make other people happy and just so I wouldn't have FOMO. So what did I do? The next time I was invited to something where I know I really didn't want to go, and yeah, I had a little FOMO, I just said no. I didn't make an excuse. There was no long explanation, just a thank you, I won't be able to make it, period. And yeah, it felt awkward and weird, but ultimately not going and doing what I wanted in that moment was so empowering. And do you want to know what happened? Nothing. The world didn't end. That event went on just fine without me. I got to go to bed early. I woke up refreshed and I felt proud of myself for honoring my own needs. So that first small no was one of the first moments I realized, wow, this is what it feels like to choose to stop shrinking myself. And that's where I started realizing that I do have a choice in all of this. So here's my challenge to you. This week, I want you to find a place in your life where you know you're shrinking yourself and flip the script. Let's change the narrative. Say no, speak up, choose yourself first without apologizing. Because the cost of shrinking yourself isn't just the opportunity you lose today, it's the life you lose tomorrow. And you are far too valuable to keep paying that price.